ranking every song from Travis Scott's Utopia from worst to best.
Move that shit out here.
The single off of Utopia, K-pop. This song made me very nervous for the album. Luckily, it was great, but K-pop is by far the worst song on this album. It's really the only miss. It was just very generic, and for an album that thrived on its unpredictability and uniqueness, this song really stuck out like a sore thumb. When it came to the production, nothing too crazy. The verses were pretty standard. Travis wasn't even really on it too much. It didn't even feel too much like a Travis song. It really did not mesh well with the rest of the album. From here, the rest of the songs on this list are good songs. That's just how good Utopia was as an album. This song was pretty much an interlude. It didn't say it was one, but it sounded like one. Most of it was Dave Chappelle talking. Then you had this young lean verse, which I wasn't too much of a fan. It was very much soaked in all these different effects. Overall, I liked how this song was more uplifting compared to the rest of the album, which was more eerie and dark. But sonically, it's maybe not up to par as some of the other ones. Beyonce absolutely carried this track. She was great. Outside of Beyonce, the rest of the song, the production was fine, but it wasn't anything crazy. Travis, fine, nothing too crazy. Beyonce really carried. It's good, just not as good as the songs ahead of it.
I get it, love, they love me long time.
Both Travis and Cudi have a lot of good chemistry in this song. I like the back and forth, but I do think the beat and even the hooks and lyrics get a little bit repetitive, which is why the song isn't higher on this list.
I've been drunk and it's alright.
I'm very much a big fan of this beat. The whole La La sample is very menacing. It provides a more eerie tone that very much fits the style of the entire album.
For my theme song, a walking distraction. I'm naturally black.
Very, very similar to Black Skinhead, but at the end of the day, Black Skinhead was a great song. So the fact that this song kind of copies it, I don't mind. I don't think it made it worse in any way. I thought The Weeknd's verse, unlike K-pop, was up to his standard, and overall I think it was a great song.
Twin bitches hopping off a jet ski. Twin bitches.
A lot of people have this in their top fives, even as their favorite song. I just think it's a pretty standard trap song. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think there's anything crazy about it. I think there's many tracks on this project that are way better. James Blake's singing was so eerie. It fit so well with the production and created this very transparent atmosphere of eeriness. 21 Savage's verse was good. Ultimately, my biggest gripe with this song is that it's the closing track for a long-awaited album, and Travis Scott wasn't on it that much.
Let's say it was filled with slaps.
This song has one of the best beat switches on the entire album. When you get to those strings, Travis just starts floating on that beat. It really starts going off and picking up. The first half of the song is good, maybe not as good, but the second half is fantastic.
I can give all this credit to Coke, by the way I be wearing a smile.
This beat is just so chaotic. There's so much going on, very reminiscent of Yeezus. I love that there's so many different sounds in this track that really mesh together well. Besides that, I really like the concept of the song where Travis Scott is referring to Sirens, which is like a Greek mythological creature resembling temptation. And I like how he alludes to temptation being one of the hills he has to climb in order to reach his utopia and overall happiness.
Told her I don't got no cash and she said she could wait on a rack on some Arabic shit.
The Drake verse is probably one of the best verses on the entire album. I love how he goes from whisper rapping to his normal rapping voice, even down to very minute details such as the Star Wars shooting sample. I very much enjoyed. Overall, this was a very hype song, and while maybe the song isn't as good as something like a Sicko Mode, it still definitely met expectations. This song is just so unique. This was one of the songs that really defined the album's unpredictability. I did not expect anything to sound like what Modern Jam sounded like when I went into Utopia, and it was a very pleasant surprise. Tizo Touchdown's verse, I think that was one of the best. He sounded very reminiscent of Andre 3000, who is one of my favorite artists of all time. I love his quirkiness, and I love the overall quirkiness of the song. Oh my gosh, SZA just went all out on this song. When that beat picked up and hit that climaxes, it totally matched it to create this perfect moment in the song and overall album. Besides that, the production in general just made me feel like I was floating. Travis Scott, I really liked his verse, and especially the reappearance of his words echoing at the end of all his verses. I thought that was a really nice touch.
This shit is out of control. I'm driving through hell and I done brought snow.
Just missing out on the top 5, I have the intro song, Hyaena. This was a great intro to the overall album of Utopia. It set the mood towards the end of the track of that eeriness, and overall it was very catchy. This song matched that unpredictability factor with Playboi Carti unlocking that whole new deep voice. I thought that was very much exciting. I thought Travis Scott on that rage beat was fantastic. I think this was one of the better beats on the entire album. It was very hype, very catchy.
Don't you know you in
the sample on this track was my favorite on all of Utopia, and Westside Gunn probably had my favorite feature on the entire album. Looking more into that feature, I just thought Westside Gunn's lyrics, flows, delivery, ad-libs, I thought everything about what he was doing with his rapping fit that beat perfectly.
Still ain't no chrome hot. I cut some off, I had to better myself.
Sonically, the song was fantastic with all the beat switches and flow changes, but I also loved conceptually how those beat switches, flow changes matched with the concept of the album, kind of displaying this chaoticness of Travis Scott's brain and how he was all over the place mentally, even coming down to some of the lyrics where Travis said,
I'm loyal, bitch, I got yay over Biden.
I think that was there to just show the chaoticness of Travis Scott's brain, resembling someone of schizophrenia, hence the name Skitzo.
Then again, I can be drunk.
The piano that starts off this song is so menacing, damn near scary. It very much matches that eerie vibe more than any other song on this album. This track has one of Travis's best melodic performances on the album, just behind the one song ahead of it. And I just really enjoyed what this song was about, in which Travis was saying he knows he has all these problems. He knows he's doing things he shouldn't be doing, but he just can't seem to stop it.
1,000 on my feet, stacks spread it on my seat.
This song is beautiful to me. Every time it comes on my playlist, I just have to close my eyes and just vibe to it. I love it so much. He damn near sounds like Frank Ocean at the start of that song. I love the lo-fi-esque of this beat. Did not think Travis would be able to pull that off, which once again ties into the unpredictability and uniqueness of this album, but he really fit on it flawlessly. Even the beat switch is fantastic. Going from that singing to rapping, I thought was really cool. It's my favorite song on all of Utopia.